After 60, do nothing and it will save your life. Turning 60 is not just a milestone in age, it's a threshold into a new phase of life where the fast-paced demands of work, family, and responsibilities begin to recede. After years of juggling deadlines, obligations, and the pressures of daily life, this period offers a chance to embrace a slower, more intentional way of living. Doing nothing doesn't suggest idleness or a lack of purpose. Instead, it signals a shift in focus, a conscious decision to prioritize well-being, inner peace, and simplicity. It is in this stage of life that doing nothing can indeed save your life. Let's explore how adopting this philosophy can improve not only your health but also your sense of fulfillment and happiness. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. A new chapter, embracing life's slowdown. Reaching the age of 60 marks the beginning of a new chapter, where the fast-moving demands of life start to slow, allowing more time for reflection, rest, and enjoyment. This shift is not about retreating from life, but stepping into a deeper, more meaningful engagement with it. For many, the thought of slowing down after years of keeping up with responsibilities, whether in a career or family life, can feel disorienting or even uncomfortable at first. But it is precisely in this slower rhythm that many discover the key to living well in their later years. Letting go of the pressure to stay busy is essential. Society often equates busyness with success and worth, making it challenging to abandon the constant need to do. After decades of living under these expectations, the transition into a slower pace can feel foreign, and some may initially feel guilt or unease about not maintaining the same level of activity. However, it's important to recognize that life after 60 offers a valuable opportunity to redefine what it means to live a meaningful life. It's not about how much you accomplish in a day, but rather how fully you experience each moment. Doing nothing is not about abandoning responsibilities altogether, but shifting your focus from external achievements to inner well-being. Instead of being driven by goals and to-do lists, you have the freedom to focus on what truly brings you joy and peace. This might mean spending an afternoon reading, practicing a hobby, or simply sitting quietly in contemplation. By letting go of the pressure to be constantly productive, you open up space for rest, reflection, and mindfulness, finding new purpose in simplicity. This chapter in life also brings the opportunity to rediscover or reinvent your sense of purpose. Without the obligations of a career or the day-to-day demands of raising a family, there's more freedom to explore personal interests and passions. Whether it's diving into creative activities like painting or writing, learning a new skill, or spending more time in nature, this stage allows for fuller expression of your individuality. For some, this newfound purpose may come from connecting with others, volunteering in the community, mentoring younger generations, or simply spending more time with family and friends. These connections provide emotional satisfaction and reinforce the idea that purpose doesn't always have to be tied to productivity. In fact, one of the most profound realizations after 60 is that purpose can be found in the simplest of things: enjoying a leisurely breakfast, tending to a garden, or having meaningful conversations with loved ones. 2. The health benefits of letting go. As we age, the cumulative effects of stress from decades of work, family responsibilities, and life's many pressures become more pronounced. After 60, the body and mind require more care and attention to heal from the wear and tear of earlier years. Embracing a slower pace and allowing yourself to let go can have remarkable health benefits, both physically and mentally. This period offers an opportunity to prioritize well-being by focusing on rest, relaxation, and gentle activities that support long-term health. Reducing stress for heart health. One of the most immediate and profound benefits of slowing down is the reduction of stress. Chronic stress is a well-known contributor to various health problems, including heart disease, high blood pressure, weakened immunity, and even cognitive decline. The constant pressure to meet deadlines, maintain a busy schedule, and juggle multiple responsibilities takes a toll on the body, leading to elevated levels of stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, these elevated hormone levels can contribute to serious health risks, particularly for the heart and cardiovascular system. By allowing yourself to do nothing in a mindful way, Whether through activities like meditation, gentle breathing exercises, or simply sitting quietly and reflecting, you can help reduce these stress hormones. Studies show that mindfulness and relaxation techniques can lower blood pressure, improve heart function, and enhance overall emotional well-being. Even small, intentional pauses during your day can have a profound impact on your health. Practicing mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation. Even a few minutes of deep breathing or focusing on the present moment can help lower stress levels and promote a sense of calm. Rest as a form of healing. As we grow older, our bodies require more time to recover from both physical exertion and mental strain. The fast-paced lifestyle of earlier years may have pushed the boundaries of endurance, but after 60, rest becomes a critical component of maintaining good health. Rest is not merely about physical recovery, it also supports mental clarity and emotional balance. Adequate sleep, short naps during the day, or simply taking moments to pause can replenish your energy and strengthen your body's natural healing processes. Rest also plays a vital role in preventing cognitive decline. Research has shown that sleep is essential for brain health, particularly as we age. During deep sleep, the brain works to consolidate memories, clear out toxins, and repair cells, all of which contribute to cognitive sharpness and emotional stability. In contrast, sleep deprivation or chronic fatigue can increase the risk of memory problems, confusion, and even mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. Giving yourself permission to rest is, in essence, giving your brain the care it needs to function optimally. The importance of relaxation in daily life. Integrating relaxation into your daily routine is crucial for overall well-being. Relaxation doesn't just mean lying down, it can include activities that calm the mind and body, such as listening to music, taking a warm bath, or spending time in nature. These small but intentional moments of relaxation help regulate the body's stress response, reduce muscle tension, and improve circulation. They also foster a sense of peace and emotional balance that is vital for maintaining a positive outlook in later life. Relaxation also supports social and emotional health. When we slow down and release stress, we are better able to connect with others, whether through conversations with family and friends or through community activities. This deeper connection nurtures emotional well-being, fostering feelings of belonging and happiness. It is in these relaxed states that you can truly enjoy the beauty of life and the relationships that matter most. Letting go of the constant need to do and embracing rest and relaxation is not a retreat from life, but an essential part of maintaining long-term health. By reducing stress, prioritizing rest, and integrating relaxation into your day, you protect your heart, strengthen your mind, and foster a sense of inner calm that will carry you through the years to come. 3. Embracing a slower lifestyle. After the age of 60, life presents an opportunity to shift from the fast-paced, often overwhelming demands of earlier years to a slower, more intentional lifestyle. This is a time when the focus moves away from the pressure to achieve and produce toward a deeper appreciation of life's simple pleasures. A slower lifestyle isn't about doing less for the sake of it, it's about creating space to experience more presence, more connection, and more fulfillment in the everyday moments that often went unnoticed in the busier phases of life. Finding joy in simple moments. One of the greatest benefits of slowing down after 60 is the ability to fully immerse yourself in the small yet significant details of daily life. In earlier years, time might have felt like something to manage, rushing from one task to the next, constantly looking ahead to the next goal or responsibility. However, in this chapter, time becomes something to savor. You can wake up in the morning without the urgency of a packed schedule and truly enjoy your morning routine, whether it's sipping a cup of tea, reading the newspaper, or taking a quiet walk. With fewer obligations demanding your attention, you can allow yourself to fully engage with the present moment. This might mean noticing the way the sunlight filters through your window, listening to the birds sing in your garden, or simply taking time to breathe deeply and appreciate the day as it unfolds. These moments of mindfulness bring a sense of calm and clarity, helping you feel more grounded and connected to your surroundings. They remind us that life's most beautiful experiences often happen in the quiet, simple moments. Creating meaningful rituals. A slower lifestyle also allows for the creation of new daily rituals that bring joy and meaning. These rituals don't need to be elaborate. They can be as simple as preparing a meal with care, taking time to enjoy your favorite hobby, or setting aside a few minutes for quiet reflection at the end of the day. These small, intentional acts help create a sense of structure and comfort, especially as life becomes less about external demands and more about personal fulfillment. Slowing down encourages you to live more mindfully. Rather than rushing through tasks or multitasking, you can focus on doing one thing at a time, fully engaging in the experience, whether it's gardening, cooking, or even tidying up your space. Approaching these activities with mindfulness transforms them from chores into moments of peaceful engagement. These acts can become therapeutic, grounding you in the present and helping to reduce stress while bringing a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Simplifying life for greater fulfillment. After decades of juggling various responsibilities, many people find that simplifying their lives after 60 brings a sense of freedom and relief. Simplification can take many forms, whether it's downsizing your home, decluttering your living space, or reducing the number of commitments in your calendar. By simplifying, you remove unnecessary distractions and burdens, allowing for a more focused and peaceful existence. This simplification is not just physical but also mental and emotional. It might mean letting go of relationships that no longer serve you or saying no to obligations that don't align with your values or priorities. In doing so, you create more room for the things that truly matter, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing personal passions, or simply enjoying the tranquility of a quiet day. The act of simplifying life encourages a deeper connection with yourself and those around you. It allows you to focus on quality rather than quantity, giving you the freedom to dedicate time and energy to the things and people that bring joy and fulfillment. This lifestyle shift isn't about withdrawing from life, but about choosing to live it with greater intention and presence, finding joy in less and discovering meaning in the moments that truly count. Connecting more deeply with nature. Slowing down also creates space for a renewed connection with nature. With more time available, many people find joy in activities like gardening, walking in the park, or simply sitting outside and observing the natural world. Nature has a unique ability to soothe and heal, offering a sense of peace and grounding that is especially valuable in later life. Spending time in nature, whether through gardening, walking, or simply observing the changing seasons, helps reduce stress and improve mood, providing a sense of calm and tranquility. Many people in this phase also find time to return to hobbies and creative pursuits that were once set aside. Activities such as painting, knitting, writing, or playing music not only stimulate the mind but also offer emotional fulfillment. These pursuits allow for self-expression, creativity, and joy, helping keep the mind engaged and active. Practicing mindfulness and gratitude. With a slower pace of life comes the opportunity to live more mindfully, fully present in each moment, appreciating small joys like a beautiful sunset, a good meal, or a heartfelt conversation. This fosters a deeper sense of contentment. Practicing gratitude for these everyday experiences creates a positive outlook, allowing you to find happiness in the simple, quiet moments of life. This slower, more reflective approach to living encourages a deep sense of satisfaction, allowing you to appreciate life's richness and the fulfillment that comes from slowing down and savoring the present. Conclusion. After 60, life offers a precious opportunity to slow down, savor simple pleasures, and focus on what truly matters. By embracing gentle movement, nurturing relationships, and rediscovering personal passions, we create space for deeper fulfillment and well-being. This stage of life is not about doing less, but about living more mindfully, finding joy in small moments, peace and stillness, and gratitude in everyday life. It's a time to live with intention, appreciating the richness that comes with a slower, more meaningful pace. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these stories inspiring and motivating, please comment 1, if not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 9 things I don't do anymore after 60. Life after 60 can feel like a rebirth in many ways, a time to let go of unnecessary burdens and embrace a more authentic version of ourselves. Below are 9 things that many of us find we no longer do after reaching this age. Each one reflects a shift in values, and each is a step toward greater peace, happiness, and fulfillment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. No longer care what people think. One of the most liberating aspects of reaching 60 is no longer feeling the need to care about what others think. For much of our lives, we spend time and energy worrying about the opinions of others, whether it's about how we look, how successful we are, or how we conduct our lives. This concern often drives decisions about careers, relationships, and social appearances as we strive to meet societal expectations. But after 60, a shift occurs. The realization dawns that most people are not paying as much attention to us as we think they are. People are wrapped up in their own lives, their own challenges, and their own insecurities. The anxiety of trying to impress or fit into a mold begins to fade away. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to others. Rather, it means recognizing that external validation is no longer necessary. There's a newfound confidence that comes with age, a sense that we no longer need to prove ourselves to anyone. This freedom allows for a more authentic way of living, where choices are based on personal happiness rather than the need to conform. Dressing comfortably rather than fashionably, saying what we really think without fearing judgment, and embracing our own unique quirks become sources of pride rather than embarrassment. As this realization takes hold, there's a deeper connection to self. What others think of us loses its power, and instead, we focus on what brings joy, peace, and contentment into our own lives. The energy once spent on trying to meet external expectations can now be redirected toward nurturing meaningful relationships, pursuing passions, or simply enjoying the present moment. After all, the greatest freedom comes not from the approval of others, but from living in a way that is true to ourselves. 2. No longer put up with toxic people. Throughout our lives, we often tolerate negative or toxic people out of a sense of obligation, fear of conflict, or simply the hope that things might improve. Whether it's a difficult family member, a demanding boss, or a manipulative friend, we spend a lot of emotional energy managing relationships that drain us. In earlier years, we may have felt compelled to keep these people in our lives, believing that walking away was not an option. But as the years pass, particularly after 60, the tolerance for toxic behavior dwindles. There's a growing understanding that life is too short to surround oneself with negativity. The energy once spent on trying to fix or endure difficult relationships is now recognized as wasted effort. Instead, we become more protective of our emotional health, choosing to prioritize peace of mind over the chaos that toxic individuals bring. This doesn't mean we become isolated or cut off from others. Rather, it means being more selective about the company we keep. We choose to spend time with those who are positive, supportive, and loving, rather than those who constantly bring drama, conflict, or resentment into our lives. Setting boundaries becomes an act of self-care, and letting go of toxic relationships is a way to reclaim personal peace. It's not an easy process, but after 60, the ability to say no to people who do not add value to our lives becomes easier. We begin to recognize that we are not obligated to maintain relationships that harm us, and in doing so, we make space for more genuine connections, relationships that are built on mutual respect, kindness, and care. The time and energy saved from cutting out toxicity can be invested in more fulfilling activities and people, leading to a more peaceful and enriched life. 3. No longer have unrealistic expectations of others. When we're younger, we often place high expectations on the people around us. We expect our partners to understand us without having to explain ourselves, our friends to always be there when we need them, and our families to fulfill roles that they may not be equipped to handle. These unrealistic expectations can lead to frustration, disappointment, and sometimes resentment when people inevitably fall short. After 60, there's a realization that expecting others to meet all of our needs is both unrealistic and unfair. People are flawed, just as we are, and they will not always act in ways that align with our desires. Instead of holding others to impossible standards, there's a shift toward accepting people as they are, imperfections and all. This doesn't mean settling for less in relationships, but rather understanding that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. When we let go of the need for others to be perfect, we open the door to more authentic, compassionate connections. We learn to appreciate the small gestures of kindness and support rather than focusing on what's lacking. This shift in perspective also helps alleviate feelings of disappointment. Instead of being let down when someone doesn't behave as expected, there's a greater sense of peace that comes with accepting people for who they are. We stop trying to change others and start appreciating them for the unique individuals they are. Relationships become more harmonious, and we become more forgiving, both of others and of ourselves. 4. No longer set complex goals. In the earlier decades of life, there's often an emphasis on setting and achieving ambitious goals, whether it's climbing the career ladder, buying a home, raising a family, or reaching financial milestones. We spend much of our lives working toward complex long-term objectives. While this can be fulfilling, it can also create pressure and anxiety as the fear of not meeting these goals looms over us. By the time we reach 60, the pressure to constantly strive for the next big achievement begins to fade. There's a shift in priorities, where the focus moves from accomplishing grand external goals to finding contentment in simpler, more meaningful pursuits. The need to prove ourselves through achievements diminishes, and the desire to enjoy life in the present moment becomes more important. Instead of setting complex long-term goals, the emphasis after 60 is on living well today. The goals we set are more personal, more immediate, and more aligned with our values. These might include taking better care of our health, learning a new hobby, or spending more quality time with loved ones. These goals don't require years of planning or intense effort. They're about making each day count in ways that bring joy and fulfillment. There's a newfound appreciation for the smaller victories in life, like successfully growing a garden, enjoying a peaceful walk, or deepening a relationship. The complexity of earlier goals is replaced with a focus on what truly matters in the here and now. Living without the constant pressure of long-term objectives allows for more peace and satisfaction as we come to understand that the journey is far more important than the destination. 5. No longer try to keep busy just for the sake of it. In a society that equates busyness with productivity, many of us spend our younger years rushing from one task to the next. Whether it's balancing work, family, or social commitments, there's often a sense of pride in staying busy. Being constantly in motion makes us feel like we're achieving something, even if it leaves us feeling exhausted and disconnected from what really matters. After 60, the need to keep busy for the sake of it diminishes. There's a realization that busyness does not necessarily equate to a fulfilling life. In fact, constantly filling our days with activity can often prevent us from appreciating the simple pleasures of life. The frantic pace of earlier years gives way to a more mindful approach, where the focus is on quality rather than quantity. This doesn't mean giving up on productivity or engagement, but rather being more intentional about how we spend our time. Instead of filling the day with endless tasks or commitments, there's a greater appreciation for moments of rest, reflection, and enjoyment. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, engaging in a favorite hobby, or simply sitting quietly and enjoying the present moment, life after 60 is about finding balance. Slowing down allows for a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. Instead of rushing from one thing to the next, we can savor each experience more fully. The pressure to do it all fades away, and in its place is a sense of peace that comes from living in alignment with our true values. The need for constant busyness is replaced by the desire for meaningful engagement in the things that truly matter. 6. No longer engage in unnecessary debates. Earlier in life, there's often a strong impulse to voice opinions, defend positions, and engage in debates on a wide range of topics, from politics and social issues to personal choices and philosophies. We may have felt that it was important to express our viewpoints, sometimes even going out of our way to correct others or prove a point. Debating could be seen as a form of intellectual exercise, a way to assert our identity, or even to solidify our place within a social group. But after 60, something shifts. The urge to engage in unnecessary debates begins to fade, replaced by a desire for peace and understanding rather than conflict and division. This doesn't mean losing passion for important issues or becoming passive in the face of injustice. Instead, it's about choosing when and where to invest emotional and mental energy. The realization sets in that not every disagreement requires a response, and not every discussion needs to become a debate. There's a newfound clarity that comes with age, the wisdom to recognize which conversations are worth having and which are not. After decades of experiencing the ups and downs of life, the desire to argue about every little thing diminishes. Instead of feeling the need to be right or to convince others of your perspective, there's a growing sense of contentment with letting people have their own opinions. The value of maintaining peace, both internally and in relationships, becomes a higher priority than winning arguments. This shift is also driven by an understanding of how futile many debates can be. Over time, it becomes clear that people are often entrenched in their beliefs, and no amount of debating is likely to change their minds. Rather than engaging in exhausting discussions that rarely lead to meaningful change, there's a choice to conserve energy for more constructive conversations. The focus shifts toward fostering understanding and connection rather than division and contention. Additionally, the realization dawns that life is too short to spend it arguing over matters that ultimately don't impact personal well-being or happiness. By choosing to disengage from unnecessary debates, there's more space for positive interactions, creative pursuits, and peaceful moments of reflection. Time spent with loved ones, hobbies, and personal growth take precedence over conflict. This doesn't mean retreating from meaningful discourse entirely. After 60, the approach to communication becomes more thoughtful and intentional. Instead of engaging in debates that escalate into arguments, there's a preference for discussions that promote mutual understanding and respect. Listening becomes more valuable than speaking, and the goal shifts from convincing others to simply sharing ideas. Conversations are no longer about dominating or proving a point, but about learning from one another and expanding perspectives. Letting go of unnecessary debates also improves relationships, whether it's with family, friends, or acquaintances. Choosing not to engage in heated arguments fosters a more harmonious atmosphere. The focus moves from proving someone wrong to preserving the connection, and differences of opinion are accepted with grace. The respect for others' viewpoints leads to deeper, more meaningful relationships. Ultimately, the decision to disengage from unnecessary debates brings more peace, both internally and externally. The mind is no longer preoccupied with arguments, and emotional energy is preserved for things that truly matter. After 60, there's a clearer sense of what's important and what isn't. Choosing peace over conflict becomes not only a personal choice but a way to enrich the overall quality of life. 7. No longer strive for perfection. Perfectionism is a heavy burden that many of us carry throughout our lives. In our younger years, we often strive to be perfect in everything we do, whether it's in our careers, our relationships, or our appearance. The desire for perfection can be overwhelming, as we constantly feel like we are falling short of an unattainable ideal. After 60, there's a liberating realization that perfection is not only unattainable but also unnecessary. Life is messy, people are imperfect, and that's what makes it beautiful. The pursuit of perfection often leads to stress, anxiety, and a sense of never being good enough. But with age comes the understanding that imperfection is what makes life interesting and meaningful. This doesn't mean giving up on striving for excellence or doing our best. It does mean letting go of the unrealistic pressure to have everything be perfect. We come to embrace the flaws and imperfections in ourselves, in others, and in life itself. This acceptance allows for more peace and contentment as we stop trying to control every aspect of our lives and start appreciating things as they are. In letting go of perfectionism, we also become more compassionate toward ourselves and others. We understand that mistakes are part of the journey, and they don't define our worth. After 60, there's a greater focus on enjoying life's imperfect moments rather than constantly striving for an unattainable standard. 8. No longer worry about long-term future plans. For much of our lives, we are conditioned to worry about the future, whether it's saving for retirement, planning for the kids' education, or making sure there's enough for a rainy day. The future always looms large. This constant focus on what's next creates an underlying anxiety. Will we be prepared? Will everything go according to plan? The what ifs of life can sometimes feel overwhelming, and the effort to control the future often distracts us from the present. However, after reaching 60, a shift in mindset tends to happen. While planning for the future remains important, the excessive worry about things that are out of our control starts to fade. There's a deeper understanding that life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully we plan, there will always be unexpected twists, and that's just part of the journey. The realization comes that worrying about tomorrow doesn't change anything except the quality of today. As the years pass, it becomes clear that focusing too much on the long-term future can rob us of the beauty of the present moment. After 60, the perspective shifts from what will happen in 10 or 20 years to how can I make the most of today. This isn't about being careless or ignoring responsibility, it's about striking a balance. We can still make plans for the future, but the difference now is that we don't let fear of the unknown control our happiness. Letting go of excessive worry brings a sense of freedom. Instead of being consumed by thoughts of what might happen years down the road, there's a newfound ability to enjoy the here and now. Time becomes more precious, and we learn to savor the small moments, whether it's a quiet morning, time with loved ones, or simply the pleasure of doing something we enjoy. After 60, it's less about having all the answers for the future and more about trusting that whatever comes, we will handle it when it arrives. We've faced challenges before and survived them, so we gain confidence in our ability to adapt. In this way, the future becomes less of a source of anxiety and more of a natural progression of life, something to look forward to but not fear. By freeing ourselves from constant worry, we open up space for joy, peace, and gratitude for the present. The future no longer looms as a threat but rather as something unknown yet manageable. After all, life is lived in the present, and the more we embrace it, the richer our experience becomes. 9. No longer feel obligated to participate in every social activity. In earlier stages of life, many of us feel a strong sense of obligation to say yes to almost every social invitation that comes our way. There's a desire to maintain appearances, to be included, and to avoid disappointing others. Whether it's attending family gatherings, workplace events, or social engagements with friends, we often feel compelled to show up, even if it means stretching ourselves thin. The fear of missing out or the expectation that we should always be socially available can leave us overcommit and drained. However, after 60, something shifts. The sense of obligation to participate in every social activity begins to wane. The realization dawns that time and energy are finite, and not every invitation requires our attendance. This doesn't mean we lose our social connections or stop enjoying time with friends and family. Rather, we become more intentional about where we invest our time and energy. The fear of missing out is replaced with the understanding that we don't have to be everywhere or do everything to feel fulfilled. We come to recognize that true fulfillment comes from deeper, more meaningful interactions, not from trying to be present at every event out of obligation. The quality of our social engagement starts to matter more than the quantity. We learn to say no without guilt and to prioritize the people and activities that truly bring joy and peace into our lives. This shift also brings a greater sense of freedom. There's no longer the pressure to attend events simply to please others or maintain appearances. Instead, social interactions are chosen based on how they align with our personal well-being. We become more selective, choosing to engage in activities that nurture us emotionally and spiritually rather than participating just because we feel we should. What's even more powerful is that the relationships we maintain after 60 often grow deeper and more authentic. When we are no longer overburdened by social obligations, we have more energy to devote to the connections that truly matter. We spend time with people who uplift us, who bring joy into our lives, and who understand and appreciate us for who we are. The superficial interactions that once filled our calendars become less frequent, making way for moments of genuine connection. Additionally, this newfound freedom allows us to explore solitude without fear or judgment. Spending time alone becomes a cherished aspect of life. Whether it's enjoying a quiet afternoon with a good book, taking a walk in nature, or simply reflecting on life, solitude offers a sense of peace and introspection that can be incredibly fulfilling. We no longer feel the pressure to constantly be doing or socializing in order to feel valued. By focusing on the social activities that bring true joy and meaning, we enrich our lives in ways that obligatory socializing never could. After 60, our relationships are more meaningful, our time is more precious, and our sense of self is stronger. We finally understand that life isn't about how many events we attend or how many people we know, it's about the depth of our connections and the richness of our experiences. Conclusion. In conclusion, life after 60 is not about giving up or slowing down, it's about living more intentionally. It's about letting go of the things that no longer serve you, the habits and mindsets that once felt necessary but now seem burdensome. These are the freedoms that come with age, the ability to live authentically, to prioritize joy and peace, and to embrace the present moment. After 60, life becomes a time of reflection, wisdom, and above all, gratitude for the richness of experience that has shaped who you are today. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these stories inspiring and motivating, please comment 1, if not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. When you grow old, 5 things to let go of immediately for a happier life. As we journey through the golden years, life often offers us a profound opportunity to reflect, embrace what truly matters, and let go of the burdens that weigh us down. For those of us aged 65 and beyond, happiness isn't found in possessions or accomplishments. It's rooted in peace of mind, meaningful relationships, and the joy of living in the present. To truly savor this chapter of life, there are 5 things we must let go of. These burdens, while once significant, no longer serve us and only hinder the joy and serenity we deserve. Here's how to lighten your heart and find happiness as you grow old. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. Let go of resentment. Resentment is a thief that quietly steals our peace, joy, and health. It roots itself deep in our hearts, nurtured by memories of betrayal, hurtful words, or actions we deemed unfair. Over time, it can harden into a weight so heavy that it stifles our ability to live fully and love freely. Yet holding on to resentment feels oddly familiar, almost like protecting an old wound. We think that if we let go, we're letting someone off the hook. But the truth is, holding on to resentment doesn't punish the person who wronged us, it punishes us. When you hold on to resentment, it's like clutching a burning coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else, but all it does is scorch your own hand. That anger, that bitterness, seeps into the corners of your mind, shows up in your thoughts when you least expect it, and can even manifest in physical ailments. Science has shown that harboring resentment can contribute to stress, anxiety, and even heart disease. But beyond the physical toll, it robs us of something even more precious, our emotional freedom. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean excusing or forgetting what someone did. It doesn't mean inviting them back into your life. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a declaration that the pain inflicted by someone else no longer has power over you. It's choosing to release the grip of anger so you can hold on to something far more valuable: peace. Imagine what it would feel like to truly let go. Think about the person or situation that still haunts your thoughts. Perhaps it's an old friend who betrayed your trust, a family member whose words cut too deeply, or even a younger version of yourself who made choices you now regret. Picture setting that burden down and watching it fade into the distance. How light would you feel? How free? The act of letting go doesn't happen overnight. It begins with acknowledging the hurt. Say to yourself, "Yes, this happened. It hurt deeply and it mattered." Give yourself permission to grieve, to feel anger, to process the emotions tied to that memory. But then remind yourself that you don't live there anymore. The hurt may be part of your story, but it doesn't define the rest of your journey. Forgiveness is an ongoing practice, not a one-time event. On some days, it will feel easier than others. Some mornings you might wake up and feel the sting of old wounds, but on others, you'll notice the pain feels lighter. Celebrate those moments. They are proof that you're healing. Letting go of resentment also involves rethinking the story you tell yourself about the past. Ask yourself, What have I learned from this? How has it shaped the person I am today? Sometimes the greatest growth comes from our deepest wounds. Resentment loses its power when we can look at those experiences not just as scars but as reminders of our resilience. To let go of resentment is to reclaim your power. It's standing up and saying, I will no longer allow this pain to dictate my life. It's a bold act of self-love and an invitation to live fully in the present. After all, the people who hurt you don't deserve a place in your thoughts any longer. They don't deserve to steal your joy. Letting go isn't about them. It's about you, your peace, and your happiness. Imagine your life unburdened by anger. Picture yourself smiling more freely, laughing more fully, and feeling lighter in your heart. Resentment may have walked with you for years, but it doesn't have to stay. Today can be the day you start loosening its grip, one breath, one thought, one act of forgiveness at a time. You've carried this weight long enough. It's time to let it go, for your health, for your joy, for you. 2. Let go of past sorrows. The past is a place we visit often, a realm filled with laughter and light, but also shadows of sorrow and loss. For many of us, the most difficult part of aging is not the years accumulating behind us but the memories we carry. The weight of past sorrows, lost opportunities, fractured relationships, or the aching absence of loved ones can feel unbearable at times. Yet, to dwell in the past is to miss the beauty of the present and the promise of what still lies ahead. Letting go of past sorrows doesn't mean erasing them or pretending they didn't happen. It means recognizing that life is a mosaic of moments, both joyful and painful, and choosing to focus on the colors that brighten your days. The sorrows of the past, while formative, don't deserve the power to overshadow the moments of joy and peace you can still create. Life, after all, isn't about forgetting. It's about learning how to carry the memories without letting them weigh you down. Think about the moments that haunt you. Perhaps it's a regret over something left unsaid, a decision you wish you could undo, or a loved one you lost too soon. These sorrows are threads in the tapestry of your life, but they are not the whole story. They are chapters, not the final act. Grieving is natural and necessary, but staying anchored to sorrow can keep you from experiencing the fullness of life that remains. Imagine a garden after a storm. Some branches are broken, flowers have been trampled, and the soil is scattered. Yet with care and attention, new life emerges. The same is true for your heart. Past sorrows may have left their mark, but they don't have to define the garden of your life. New joys can bloom if you give them space to grow. The process of letting go starts with acceptance. Accept that what happened cannot be changed. Accept that sorrow is a part of being human, a testament to how deeply you have loved and how fully you have lived. But also accept that you have the strength to move forward, to honor the lessons those sorrows have taught you while leaving the pain behind. Focusing on the present can be your greatest act of healing. Today you have the chance to breathe in the crisp morning air, feel the warmth of the sun on your face, and hear the laughter of those around you. Each of these moments is a gift, one that sorrow can blind us to if we let it. By letting go of past grief, you open your heart to the small, quiet joys of everyday life. There's also power in reframing your story. Instead of seeing the past as a collection of wounds, view it as proof of your resilience. You've survived heartache, endured loss, and continued to move forward. Each sorrow has made you stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Letting go doesn't mean dismissing your pain. It means acknowledging that your story is so much more than its saddest chapters. Perhaps the hardest part of letting go is the fear that in doing so, you're losing the connection to what you've lost. But letting go of sorrow doesn't mean letting go of love. The love remains, it always will. It's a part of you, a quiet strength that fuels your days. By choosing to focus on the love instead of the loss, you honor the people and moments that have shaped you. Letting go of past sorrows is not a betrayal of your memories, it's an act of courage. It's telling yourself that while you carry the past within you, you also deserve to live fully in the present. You are not defined by what you've lost but by how you choose to embrace what remains. As you breathe in this moment, let the past rest gently in its place. You've given it enough of your time, your tears, your heart. Now turn your face to the sunlight of today. Let the sorrows of yesterday drift into the background, where they belong, so that the beauty of now can take center stage. Life is waiting, step forward and embrace it. 3. Let go of meaningless relationships. Life, as it progresses, has a way of revealing what truly matters, and who truly matters. When we are younger, we often find ourselves surrounded by a crowd, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, and even fleeting companions who come and go. In those days, it can feel like the more connections we have, the richer our lives must be. But as the years pass and we grow older, we begin to see the truth. It is not the quantity of relationships that brings us joy, but the quality of the connections we hold dear. Some relationships no longer serve us, and that's okay. Not every person we meet is meant to stay in our lives forever. Time has a way of revealing who brings light to our days and who casts shadows over them. By the time we reach our golden years, it becomes essential to make a choice. Do we continue carrying relationships that weigh us down, or do we free ourselves to focus on the ones that truly nurture our souls? Letting go of meaningless relationships isn't about bitterness or judgment, it's about self-respect. It's about acknowledging that your time and energy are precious and that they should be invested in people who value you as much as you value them. You don't have to hold on to every acquaintance from your past simply because they've been there a long time. Longevity doesn't always equal loyalty or love. Some connections have run their course, and there is grace in recognizing that. Think about the people in your life. Are there those who uplift you, who make you smile, who remind you of your worth? These are the relationships to treasure. Then are there those who drain you, who bring negativity and leave you feeling unseen or unimportant? These are the relationships to reconsider. It doesn't mean ending things with hostility. It means stepping back and prioritizing your well-being. By letting go of meaningless relationships, you make room for deeper connections. Sometimes, holding on to what is comfortable can prevent you from finding what is truly meaningful. Imagine the space you could create for new friendships, rekindle bonds with loved ones, or even deepening your relationship with yourself. In the absence of superficial ties, your heart and mind become open to what truly fulfills you. The act of letting go can feel daunting. You may fear hurting others or feel guilt for stepping away. But remember, caring for yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. The people who genuinely care about you will understand your choice, and those who don't were never truly invested in your happiness to begin with. Meaningful relationships don't always have to be numerous, they just need to be genuine. A single friend who truly listens, a child or grandchild who shares moments of laughter, or a neighbor who stops by just to check in, these are the connections that bring richness to life. It's not about grand gestures or constant attention, it's about the quiet assurance that you are cared for, respected, and loved. As you reflect on your relationships, consider this: life is too short to spend with people who don't see your value. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your presence, who bring out your best self, and who make your days brighter. And in turn, be that person for others. Meaningful relationships are not one-sided. They are mutual, built on trust, kindness, and respect. Letting go of meaningless relationships is not a loss, it's a gain. It's gaining freedom from negativity, from obligation, and from the weight of carrying connections that no longer bring joy. It's making space for love, laughter, and the kind of companionship that makes life worth living. You deserve to spend these years surrounded by people who truly matter. Choose wisely, with an open heart and a clear mind. Let go of what doesn't serve you, and hold tightly to what does. In doing so, you'll find yourself living not just with contentment, but with a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. 4. Let go of empty pride and titles. As the years pass and the roles we once played begin to fade, we may find ourselves clinging to the titles and accolades that defined us. These badges of honor, our job titles, achievements, or social positions, once brought us pride, a sense of identity, and recognition. They marked our successes, sacrifices, and the roles we held in the world. But as life moves forward, the need to hold on to these symbols can become a burden, obscuring the deeper meaning of who we truly are. Letting go of empty pride and titles doesn't mean dismissing the accomplishments of the past. It means recognizing that your value isn't tied to what you once were but to who you are today. The truth is, titles are fleeting. They may have brought you status or respect in a particular chapter of life, but they don't define your worth in this moment. What defines you now is the legacy you create through your actions, your kindness, and your presence. Think about the weight that pride can carry when it is rooted in outdated roles or comparisons. A retired SEAL who still introduces themselves by their former position may feel a sense of accomplishment, but they may also find themselves disconnected from the present. Clinging to past titles can create a barrier between who you were and who you have the potential to become. It can tether you to a world that no longer exists, leaving you yearning for relevance in a way that feels hollow. There is a profound liberation in letting go of these old labels. By doing so, you allow yourself to embrace the simplicity and beauty of the present. You are no longer a former anything, you are simply you, in all your wisdom, experience, and authenticity. This moment, stripped of titles and expectations, is where your true self can shine. Letting go of pride doesn't mean losing dignity or self-respect. It means releasing the need to prove your worth through external validation. You are not the sum of your achievements, or the roles you've played. You are the laughter you share with friends, the love you give to your family, and the wisdom you pass on to the next generation. These intangible gifts far outweigh any title or accolade. When we let go of pride, we also make room for deeper connections with others. Pride, rooted in titles or status, can create walls between us and those we care about. It can prevent us from showing vulnerability, asking for help, or admitting when we're wrong. By setting aside these facades, we invite authenticity into our relationships. We become more approachable, more relatable, and ultimately more fulfilled. It's also important to recognize that letting go of titles doesn't diminish what you've accomplished. Your contributions to the world, whether in a career, a community, or a family, remain significant. They don't disappear when you stop naming them. Instead, they live on in the lives you've touched and the impact you've made. Consider the story you want to tell about your life now. Do you want it to be a list of titles and achievements, or do you want it to reflect the richness of your character, the love you've shared, and the legacy you've built through the way you've treated others? The most profound achievements in life are often the quietest: a relationship mended, a grandchild taught a lesson, or a friend comforted in a time of need. Letting go of empty pride is not a loss, it's an act of courage and self-awareness. It allows you to step into this new chapter of life with confidence, unburdened by the past and open to the opportunities of the present. It's a recognition that your worth doesn't come from a title but from the person you've become through all of life's trials and triumphs. As you release the need to define yourself by what you've done, you'll find that who you are is more than enough. In this stage of life, there's no need for pretense or posturing. Embrace the freedom that comes with being simply and authentically you. You've earned it. 5. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is one of the most profound acts of healing, yet it is often the hardest to extend, especially to ourselves. As we journey through life, we accumulate not only the joys of living but also the scars of mistakes, regrets, and relationships that didn't turn out as we had hoped. These scars, if left unhealed, can weigh heavily on our hearts, keeping us tethered to pain and preventing us from embracing the peace we deserve. Forgiving yourself is perhaps the most essential yet overlooked form of self-compassion. We tend to hold ourselves to impossible standards, replaying moments when we feel we failed to act, failed to say the right thing, or failed to live up to our own or others' expectations. Over time, this self-blame can harden into a relentless inner critic, whispering words of judgment when we most need kindness. But consider this: you are human, and being human means being imperfect. Perfection was never the goal. Growth, learning, and love are. To forgive yourself is to embrace your humanity. It's to say, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. It's to honor your journey and recognize that every misstep was a part of your growth. Imagine speaking to your younger self, not with anger or disappointment, but with the same gentleness you would show a child learning to walk. Remind yourself that you were always trying, even when it didn't turn out as planned. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can choose to view it with compassion instead of criticism. Extending forgiveness to others can be equally transformative. We've all been hurt by someone, perhaps a friend who betrayed us, a loved one who let us down, or even a stranger whose actions left a lasting impact. These wounds often linger, not because they are fresh but because we revisit them, nursing the pain as if holding on to it will somehow right the wrong. But holding on to anger or resentment is like chaining yourself to a rock and expecting the other person to feel the weight. In truth, the only person who suffers is you. Forgiving others doesn't mean excusing their behavior or pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means releasing the hold their actions have over your peace of mind. It's choosing to let go of the anger that keeps you bound to them so you can move forward unencumbered. Forgiveness is not a gift to the person who hurt you, it's a gift to yourself. It's a declaration that you will no longer let the past dictate your present. This act of letting go is not always easy. There will be moments when the old pain resurfaces, when the memory stings as if they happened yesterday. In those moments, remind yourself that forgiveness is a process, not a destination. It's a practice you return to again and again, each time loosening the grip of the hurt just a little more. Over time, you'll notice the pain feels lighter, the anger less sharp, and the peace within you stronger. Forgiveness also requires perspective. As you reflect on those who hurt you, consider their humanity too. Were they acting out of their own pain, ignorance, or fear? This doesn't excuse their actions, but it can help you see them as flawed individuals rather than villains. Often, understanding the why behind someone's actions can make it easier to let go of the what. In forgiving them, you're not condoning their behavior, you're choosing to stop carrying the weight of it. Ultimately, forgiveness is a profound act of freedom. It's about setting yourself free from the prisons of guilt, anger, and resentment that can keep you stuck in the past. It's about reclaiming your power and choosing peace over pain. Whether it's forgiving yourself for a mistake you made years ago or forgiving someone who hurt you deeply, each act of forgiveness is a step toward a lighter, freer life. As you move through this stage of life, remember that forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it transforms the future. It clears the path for joy, connection, and a sense of wholeness that cannot coexist with resentment. You've carried these burdens long enough. Now is the time to set them down. Forgive yourself for the times you didn't know better. Forgive others for their imperfections, just as you hope to be forgiven for yours. In doing so, step into a life that is not defined by what has been lost or broken, but by what still remains to be cherished and celebrated. Forgiveness isn't just an act, it's a gift, one that you give to yourself over and over again. Conclusion: embracing the freedom to live fully as we age. Life offers us an extraordinary gift, the opportunity to focus on what truly matters. It's a time to shed the burdens we've carried, release the pain of the past, and embrace the simplicity and beauty of the present moment. Letting go is not about losing, it's about gaining clarity, peace, and the freedom to live authentically. Each act of letting go is a step closer to the joy and contentment you deserve. When you release resentment, you reclaim your peace. When you let go of past sorrows, you make room for gratitude. When you walk away from meaningless relationships, you strengthen the bonds that truly nourish your soul. When you release empty pride, you find humility and grace. And when you forgive yourself and others, you open your heart to the profound freedom that only love and compassion can bring. These years, though they may feel like the autumn of life, are filled with the rich harvest of wisdom, resilience, and perspective. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create space for what does, deeper connections, quieter joys, and a peace that transcends the noise of the world. Imagine a life where your heart feels light, your mind is unburdened, and your spirit is free to roam wherever it pleases. That life is possible, but it begins with the courage to let go. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Every breath you take is a reminder that the present is a gift waiting to be unwrapped. Open it, cherish it. In the end, what matters most is not what you've held on to but what you've released to make room for love, joy, and peace. This chapter of your life is yours to write, unburdened by the past and filled with the promise of what's still to come. You have the power to step forward, lighter and freer than ever before, into a life that is not just lived but truly embraced. Let go and let yourself fully live. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.